For years, a quiet dream has been breathing in the hearts of millions across the Indian subcontinent, a dream painted in a deep shade of purple. It is a longing that goes beyond mere music, a silent pact between 7 boys from South Korea and a massive, fiercely loyal ocean of fans who have waited in the shadows for nearly a decade. Every time a global tour is announced, Indian fans open the schedule with a racing heartbeat, only to feel that familiar, sharp ache of disappointment when the word India is nowhere to be found. But true love does not fade with distance, and the bond between India and the global phenomenon known as BTS has only grown more intense, fueled by a collective hope that one day, the countdown will finally end. The air has grown thick with anticipation because something shifted in the universe when the members completed their mandatory journey of service and stood together once again as a complete group. The whispers are no longer just wishful thinking, they are turning into a roar of certainty that the historical moment is finally arriving. To truly understand why the question of where this monumental event will take place carries so much weight, one must look back at the heartbreak that started it all. Long before the world paused, Mumbai was secretly locked into the itinerary for the Map of the Soul tour, a beautifully kept secret that was meant to be a historic gift to Indian fans. The stage was being conceptualized, logistics were being quietly discussed, and the dream was closer to reality than anyone ever knew, only for the cruel hand of a global crisis to sweep it all away. That stolen moment left a permanent wound, a feeling of unfinished business that has lingered between the band and their Indian family. Over the years, the members themselves have subtly acknowledged this void, hinting at their deep desire to touch down on Indian soil, making it clear that India was never forgotten, only delayed. When the magnetic vocalist Kim Taehyung leaned into a live camera and softly spoke those unforgettable words, sending a warm greeting to India and promising a meeting in the near future, it was not just a casual comment. It was a lifeline thrown to an entire nation of fans, a spark that ignited a fire that cannot be put out. As the global map for their massive post-military comeback tour unfolds across continents, the initial absence of an Indian date on the official schedule did not break the spirit of the fans. Instead, it set off an unprecedented wave of investigation and strategic planning. The powerhouse management company behind the group has already established its deep roots within the Indian entertainment landscape by setting up an official corporate presence in Mumbai, a chess move that speaks volumes about their long-term vision. They know that the sheer volume of passion waiting in India cannot be contained by standard venues. The logistics of bringing a production of this astronomical scale, featuring a revolutionary 360-degree immersive stage design, massive pyrotechnics, and complex security protocols, requires an infrastructure that only a few select locations in India can provide. Behind closed doors, discussions are centering around cities that possess both the emotional history and the colossal physical space required to hold an ocean of tens of thousands of emotional voices. The primary destination flashing under the spotlight of every major rumor is the bustling entertainment capital of Mumbai, a city that already carries the ghost of that cancelled tour. Industry insiders point toward the iconic Dai Patil Stadium as a prime contender, a venue that has historically embraced international music royalty and possesses the vast open sky needed for the purple wave of light. Sticks to mirror the stars. Imagine the atmosphere as twilight falls over the stadium, the humid coastal breeze carrying the electric tension of 80,000 people holding their breath. The roar that will erupt when the lights finally dim and the first silhouette appears on stage will be a sound heard across the entire country. Yet, there are whispers of an even grander vision, one that takes the spectacle to the heart of Gujarat, where the monumental Narendra Modi Stadium stands as the largest arena on earth. The thought of 130,000 souls singing in perfect unison, creating a literal earthquake of emotion under the open sky, is the kind of historic statement that matches the unprecedented legacy of the group. Every single detail of this potential arrival carries immense emotional weight because it represents a validation of a fanbase that has supported the group through thick and thin, across language barriers and cultural divides. The transition from streaming videos on small phone screens in quiet bedrooms to standing shoulder to shoulder with thousands of fellow believers is a journey that many have been preparing for their entire lives. Parents who watched their children find solace in the group's message of self-love are now preparing to join them in the ticket queues, understanding that this is more than a concert, it is a cultural phenomenon, a collective healing experience. The economic and cultural impact will reshape how the international entertainment industry views the subcontinent, proving once and for all that the devotion of the Indian people is a force of nature. The suspense continues to build with every passing week as hidden preparations continue and the global tour moves closer to its late-stage announcements. Fans are staying awake through the night, watching flight patterns, monitoring stadium bookings, and holding on to every subtle hint dropped in interviews or social media updates. The countdown is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when and where the ground will shake. When that official announcement finally drops, and the name of an Indian city is etched in purple ink on the global schedule, it will be a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph that will echo through the history of modern music forever. The emotional gravity of this impending arrival has transformed the waiting period into a sacred ritual for the millions who have found a sanctuary in their music. In every corner of India, from the vibrant streets of Delhi to the serene landscapes of the Northeast, fans are not merely saving up their resources, they are preparing their hearts for an overwhelming rush of emotion that has been suppressed for years. This is a fanbase that learned how to love themselves through lyrics sung in a language they did not initially speak, breaking down cultural barriers through the universal power of empathy. When the first notes of their anthems echo through an Indian stadium, it will not just be a musical performance, it will be a monumental reunion of long-lost family members. The sheer psychological impact of seeing those 7 familiar faces standing beneath the Indian sky, witnessing the dust rise as thousands jump in perfect synchronicity, is an image that many have played in their minds 1,000 times before falling asleep. The collective energy of a nation that has felt bypassed for so long will culminate in a display of passion so fierce that it will leave an indelible mark on the band members themselves. Behind the scenes, the immense logistical puzzle is being meticulously pieced together to ensure that the production value matches the sky-high standards of their global stadium tours. Rumors from event management circles suggest that advanced technical teams have already conducted discrete site surveys, evaluating not just the capacity of the venues, but the structural integrity required to support massive, shifting LED screens and complex aerial stage mechanics. While Mumbai and Ahmedabad remain at the forefront of every conversation, the political and cultural heart of the nation, Delhi NCR, is emerging as a powerful dark horse with venues like the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium being discussed for its centralized accessibility. The thought of the capital city being washed in a sea of purple lights, with the historic air vibrating under the base of a global pop phenomenon, adds a layer of regal intensity to the dream. Security agencies are quietly drafting unprecedented crowd management strategies, recognizing that the arrival of this specific group requires a level of protection usually reserved for visiting heads of state, given the fanatical devotion of the gathering masses. What makes this journey so deeply poetic is the realization that the members themselves have carried the weight of this unfulfilled promise. In quiet moments during their individual journeys, they have continuously looked back at the maps of the world, knowing there was a massive, glowing void where India should have been. For a group that prides itself on genuine connection and gratitude, the knowledge that millions of people in India stayed up through the night to stream their releases, vote in international awards, and build community charity projects in their name without ever seeing them live is a debt of love they are eager to repay. This concert will be their love letter back to India, an acknowledgement of a loyalty that never wavered even when the distance seemed impossible to bridge. The emotional tension is reaching a boiling point because everyone knows that when the dam finally breaks, the resulting rush of joy, tears, and celebratory chants will be nothing short of cinematic. As the days blur into weeks and the global whispers grow into solid, undeniable reality, the sense of urgency among the community is palpable. Every social media notification, every sudden press release from the management company, and every mysterious countdown holds the power to stop time for a whole generation of listeners. People are already forming alliances with friends across different cities, planning travel routes, and mentally preparing for the chaotic battle of the ticket lines, knowing that millions will vie for a finite number of seats. This is no longer just about anticipation, it is about a shared cultural milestone that will define a generation. When the lights finally go down, and the ocean of purple light sticks begins to wave in the dark, the collective breath of millions will finally be released, confirming that the long, painful wait was merely the prologue to the most beautiful moment of their lives.